Well, Lahore Qalandars have one of the most potent bowling attacks in the HBL PSL, particularly at the death. And one man, Shaheen Shah Afridi, the captain, well, there is a guy that he loves to go for those crucial final overs. It's Zaman Khan. He's been unbelievable since bursting onto the scene as an emerging player. So, Nick Knight, I thought you'd be the perfect person to ask. How on earth do you face someone like Zaman Khan, who's so precise?
It's a very good question, and I'm sure a lot of batters are trying to work out the same thing as well. Now, clearly, when you start with Zaman Khan, you're looking at the action, the release point. I mean, he has quite a unique release point, doesn't it? It's quite low compared to, say, a Shaheen Shah Afridi, although that's right-handed. Harris Ralph a little bit higher. So you're trying to contend with the ball perhaps skidding. Now, what we're really focusing on here is how you play at the end of an inning. So your last, 16 to 20 overs, somewhere around there, when the bowlers are trying to bowl full and hit the Yorkers and get the stumps out of the ground and LBW. So how might you try and attempt that against Zaman Khan? Well, I've already talked about the release point, and the release point makes it very difficult for batters to do what they do so well in the modern game, and that is get on one knee and just lift it over fine leg and bring that sort of area of the ground, the dimension of the ground, into play. So difficult because, A, when you set up to play that, and of course I'll do this left-handed, is when you set up to do it, the ball is kind of, the trajectory is actually right at your face here. It's quite intimidating and you have to be pretty brave. Whereas when the release point's a little higher, you feel like it might bounce and then come over your shoulder. So that's the first problem you've got. The second problem you've got is, as a result of that trajectory, when the ball hits the ground here, it's going to skid on low here as opposed to bounce up, so you can get the ball and then scoop it up from here. So you kind of feel like the ball's going to skid onto you a bit quickly. And actually, Imad Wasim did this in the last game here. He almost went too far. In fact, he did go too far because you feel like you want to sort of help it on its way because it's so full and there's nothing really to work with there. So that's a couple of challenges really you face against Zaman Khan.
A little bit of self-preservation kicking in, it sounds like, for the batters. But looking at how he attacks those final overs versus, say, a Harris Ralph, how does that differentiate?
Well, we can just show you really how batters are going about it and where they're trying to score their runs. It kind of makes the point really that we're talking about out here. If we look at Zaman Khan first, you can see now to the left-handers, nobody is scoring run. Imad Wasim tried, no one's scoring on the leg side behind square, and there's 13% when the right-handers are trying it. So it's a pretty bare minimal figures there. That's 13% in total. If you then put it to Harris Ralph, have a look how those figures change. 11% and 30%. So in total, we're now looking, my maths is not great, but I think that says something like 41%. So you're getting up to more half of the runs that you score at the end of an innings when the ball is full against Harris Ralph is going there. Against Zaman Khan, it is not. So actually what that means then is you've got a Yorker box if you're Zaman Khan, because you can hit a spot on the pitch because batters are looking to play with a vertical bat. If you're Harris Ralph, that's a very, very different area to hit the pitch.
Yeah, he certainly has been very successful for Lahore Qalandars, and of course it's resulted in him getting picked for the squads against Afghanistan. So kudos to Zaman